generally, I try to start by a question and close by a question. I'm in the mood today. I'm recording this Saturday, I will edit Sunday, and I'll go live this Monday. So I'm gonna start by this question. What is the first voice you hear every single morning? Like, it's not your boss, it's not your friends, it's not the world. It may be your mom advice that, back in your head on some things, or maybe it's your little, guardian angel voice that you might have, in the back of your head. But most likely it will be your own voice. You have huge probability it's just your voice you hear. And you might not realize it, but the way you speak to yourself in those first moments, before just grabbing your phone or before any noise coming to your morning, before having any expectation, it will often decide the tone of your entire day, how you will most likely perform for your day. So tell yourself, I will do it today. I talked to you in my last episode about 2026 resolution, and I repeat it again here. If you have an idea, this is my 2026 resolution of the year. So even if you had a hard week, a hard previous days, get up anyway. Listen to this voice of you, the reasonable voice that you might have inside of you, and focus on your goals, focus on your voice, show yourself empathy, but also a sense, I think it's very important, but also a sense of urgency and intransigence. What I mean by intransigence is don't let yourself any choice to do it or not. You sometimes you need to be hard on yourself, with your little inner child that wants to do whatever he wants, but sometimes you need also to have your own rules and put this intransigence if you want to be successful into the things that you have in mind. So tell yourself you can do it, you have the energy, you have the potential no matter what. And you can achieve things, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. And I feel especially tell yourself you will have a great day no matter what. Just go through the life you want and the standard you put for yourself. And this is very important. Don't let your boss opinion, your colleagues, your boyfriend, your friends, anyone else's opinion that is not yours make you sit and, stay on your bed and do nothing. No, don't let anyone, genuinely don't. It's very important. Just keep it up. Keep it moving. Keep it together. We talk a lot, about discipline, motivation, consistency, but we don't talk enough about the thought that either carry us forward or slowly wear us down and we don't even realize it. And one thing before you act strong is you have to think strong. So hi, this is Emma and welcome back to a new episode of KN Talks. Today I want to talk about a very important topic that I think it's very important for me to talk about to start this new year, to give you energy and positivity. So you have to promise me to carry with you this topic for 2026 if you're watching this. Yeah, and the topic of today is mental strength. And I told you in my last episode, resilience through stillness, you can go back to it. I will link it down. That mental strength or strength in general or your performance doesn't have to be loud or performative. It can be just in your mind and it can be still, it can be quiet. This kind of steady strength that keeps you standing when no one is watching, is applauding, because you're not a child anymore. So you're not going to have your mom to say, congrats, what you did is amazing, it's great. No, you have your own self to go forward, to continue forward, to acknowledge if what you did was good or was wrong, or how it benefits yourself or how it didn't. So remember that successful people actually move in silence, and you don't have to tell everyone everything that you're doing. So know what to share and know what to keep private. And protect your peace. No matter what, protect your peace and move forward. You always have to be moving forward and looking for new opportunities, looking for a new routine that you want to implement because it will impact where you see yourself going later, or just improve your total lifestyle in general, and move forward, consistently looking forward. And don't move backwards. And this is what I'm making this video. It's because I really trust that you can do that. Yeah, that if you have a dream, we are living in a time that compete for our attention, and your phone, other people's opinion, what's going on online, other people's lives, you always having like the timelines of whatever happened everywhere, just in your face. And if you're not careful, you really start outsourcing everything, especially your thinking. And this will lead to that you will start to think like everyone else, not protecting your peace anymore. And eventually you will also start to please everyone else, to just try to fit in. But remind yourself, and this is very important that you remind yourself this thing, like not fitting in, it's actually a strength. Use it as a weapon of strength, of power, of being your own individual. You don't have to prove the world that you're necessarily a good person if you know inside yourself that you are a good person. You need to put your own rules and be the most authentic self that you can be. And remember, in my last episode, I talked to you about 2026 and the 2026 goal that I wanted to put in place, which was really taking action on things. What I want to share with you in this episode is it's not going to be necessarily easy. Even you're going to have a lot of obstacles in your way, but what's one thing you need to do in any environment, whether it's professional, whether it's with your friends, whether it is with your partner, stand for yourself. Doesn't matter what other people think. If you are strong on your opinion, if you read about it, if you know what's good for you, especially in the case of a work environment or in the case of any kind of environment when it's someone that doesn't like you, don't lose your energy to make this person try to like you. Don't try to convince this person or blah blah blah. No, first of all, you would not be able to change this person's mind. And anyway, in any case, this is literally their problem. If they don't like you, that's not yours. And it is completely okay, honestly, to don't be liked by everybody anyway. That's basically their problem. There is nothing you can do on this. So just move on with your day and start living your life and start achieving what you want to achieve. If you're really sad or really afraid to, not meeting anyone, or just remember how the world is big and how much opportunities you have and how many people you have. So you're gonna be really fine, Move along with yourself for now. Move along with your day. Move along with your dreams, with the people that love you and bring you up. Bring that energy to you in returns that you bring energy to them. Inspire you. And I also write this episode because I think it's very important to stay strong, and there is staying strong in a lot of different aspects of life. Also, if you are a woman, I feel in a woman you can also have tend to, in this life to sometimes compare yourself to other women, and but never let comparison decide your worth. And I know it's a really hard exercise, I think, but try to really not compare yourself. Try to really play on what makes you unique, and even if you think you don't like something about you, try to reverse that and make it something that actually could become something you like. Or maybe you try to use this as a reverse strength, or in the other side, like try to make something else. And if you don't really like something about you, try to work on something else that you be potentially more strength for you and develop this other strength. Never let your fear decide your pace. Never let your doubts decide your limits. And remember one thing, if you want to achieve things, is your thoughts would never be neutral. They would either build you and be a strength for you, whether they will train you. And this could be very destroying for someone. So thinking strong, it's not being positive all the time, because of course in life you have down times. It doesn't mean living in a little fairy world or just pretending everything is fine in your life. But thinking strong means, choosing discipline over impulse. It means choosing yourself, choosing self-respect over just self-sabotage. And it's also a mentality and a way of perceiving things. So thinking strong in this context, in where I'm talking to you about it, it's not something abstract. It is something that you can also implement by being more an operational thing and appearing really into decision, boundaries, and really persistence. If you really want something, it would really appear in the refusal to abandon yourself, even when your progress doesn't show, even when your progress feels very slow. This is not a passive process. It is really intentional and deeply personal. You have to be intentional for what you want. You have to be intentional before you go to bed. You have to be intentional to be positive. You have to program yourself to think positive. You know, before you go to bed, you have to program yourself to think things that would make you feel great in the morning. You have to convince you of your worth and of your potential, because no one else will do it for you. And you remember this sentence I told you? If you didn't watch my last episode, it's actually in it. And I talked to you about the American football trainer, so Nick Saban, and he said to his player, and this is something I'm gonna repeat it because it is the same. What are you setting on the day? What are you setting? What are you bringing? What are your positivity? What the thoughts are you bringing on the table? You know, and this is with this energy, this is with this positivity that you're gonna achieve things. And I can assure you one thing is in life, in your career, with your closest people around you, whether your children, whether your parents, whether your maybe your best friend, or really people that you can tell everything, you can complain, but if no one's really care about how tired you are and how exhausted you are and how over you have these people not liking you or draining you. So do you. So you need to stay positive, stay amazing, stay shiny, bright, and wake up feeling unstoppable, believing in your dreams, believing in your potential. Never wake up feeling exhausting or tired or life with, no aim and no taste of things and no project. Wake up feeling great, feeling amazing, because, especially as I said before, but especially if you're in your 20s, in your 30s, wake up feeling young, feeling strong. Use this energy as fuel. Ask yourself how many people would dream of your life right now and be at your place. And we only have one fragile life. So you need to make the most of it. You need to put all your anxiety, your doubts, your fear aside and say, I am feeling fucking good. Your subconscious mind believes everything you say to yourself. So you have to stay strong, you have to be positive, you have to convince yourself of the energy that you have and what you can achieve. Last year I have been throwing a challenge at myself that I would be able to run 5 kilometers every day. So I think in miles it might be 7 miles. No, it's actually less. It might be 3-4 miles every day. It looks very small in miles, so I prefer to stay in kilometers, 5 kilometers. So I have been already talking about that before, but every time I didn't feel to do it, or I was feeling lazy of doing it, or it was too cold, or I just didn't, I was feeling too bad, or I was in my period and I was not really in the mood to just do it. Even if I had to do more slowly, even if I had to almost walk doing it, or just to move my body, every time that I didn't want to do it, and I told myself, I was like, Emma, how many people would dream to be at your place? How many people are sick right now, are in wheelchair, are having, a disease and cannot run and would just love to be at your place and would love to run? And even if you're lazy, even if you're tired, don't do it for you, but at least do it for them. Do it for these people that don't have the chance to be at your place right now, to have the strength in your legs, in your mind, to breathe outside. So realize that the strength you have, it's actually cultivated through a conscious way of thinking. And that pain that you would have in life is, of course, unfortunately, but unavoidable. And it's being in pain, sometimes it's basically an engagement that you have with life. But there are so many more beautiful things to it, and this is really a small part of it. But we will all go through pain. We will go through hard situation. We will go through shit, through people making fun of us. We will go through hard moments in business, in breakups, not people taking us seriously, in relationship, in times. But the most important thing you have to have is the mentality that you have behind all of this hard situation. You know, how will you react when something it's hard, when something it unexpected, when this unexpected thing will reach you, will happen to you, and how to master a response in this. And this goes to my dad as an example, but I've never seen him getting angry in any situation, or very few, rarely times that he is someone that is very calm. And this is such a thing in life that one day I want to be able to master, but how to be able mastering the best response possible. Being the most calm, but at the same time having, this strong energy and not seeking for validation, not waiting for momentum, but just creating things quietly, deliberately, and without being applauded by people. You have to be mothering yourself, and think strong and stay strong. And if you have a successful mindset, if you have a strong mind, you can get up and do what you have to do anyway. And don't have this victim mindset of, I cannot do this, I'm too tired, No, realize how many people are suffering and would just dream to be in your situation. Would give everything to be in good health and having, this potential to be able to still dream, you can still do it. And allowing pain to define how you live your life is really a choice, but think that everyone has this problem and everyone has this pain, and just people don't necessarily show them. So really strength lies in separating experience from identity. What you have been through, the pain you have been through before, what you are going through right now does not have to define you and does not have to become who you are. So sometimes you have to put yourself in a hard situation to be able to grow. And there is this really good quote of Les Brown that says, you must be willing to do the things that other people won't necessarily do to have the thing that people won't have. And that's the thing, willingness, mental strength precedes reward. And the work that matters the most is generally invisible. You don't want to go for this run, you don't want to go to the gym, but the after feeling you have will bring you energy, fuel. And this strength, this consistency, this willingness that people would not necessarily see on the short term, but we saw on the long term is precisely what will differentiate you from those who will abandon it when a resistance, an obstacle will just appear on their way. And I think the way of seeing strength is mostly something that is directional. So it does not deny difficulty, nor does it gonna dramatize them, but it will really integrate them. You have to use your strength as, this big path where you would have obstacles in front of you and stuff, but no matter what, you will continue to do it. You will show up every day. Growth will continue not because condition might be the most favorable, but because your commitment to it has been internalized. When you persist into something without reward, without recognition, when you maintain a rhythm, a consistency, even over intensity, you are not merely enduring a season or a winter or a summer, but you are really building a capacity through long terms. And capacity, once it's built, changes what's become possible. It's gonna change your limits, and it's gonna push your limits to a new level. For the episode of today on my point of being strong, there is two common things that I actually saw in strong people and that I want to share with you. So first of all is that you have to also understand that strong people don't necessarily have people with easier life. It's not because you're a CEO, because it's not because you've been like through a lot of things, or it's not because you're strong, because you are running ultra endurance marathon, that your life might be so much easier than other people. So my point is, they don't always have necessarily easier life. They don't always have more also talent than other people, or they don't always have more opportunities, but they have all these two things in common that I want to share with you. It's, first of all, they don't let every thought stay in their life. They don't really believe every fears or listen to every fears that passes through their mind. They really act on things fast. So they move fast and they don't really listen to all this really noise into their mind. Because that's what you need to understand, is like not all of your thoughts deserve attention. And second of all, they create and they know how to create opportunities for them. So they're gonna talk with people, they're gonna engage, they're gonna move forward. And when you analyze like these two things, you kind of realize that you go back to the premise of what we said, and you kind of realize that actually these two things are linked with the idea of movement and moving forward. Whatever it's first, not listening to the noise or to the thoughts that are not going to serve you, and being able to listen only to the thought that will make you go forward. And second of all, it's really the ability of moving forward by creating opportunities for your future self. And so you have this good thought of David Goggins on this that I want to share with you. He said, you are actually in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without even realizing your true potential. So also being strong, it's not choosing a path where you don't have any obstacles and that would be the most easy and the most nice path everywhere. No, it's actually not, and that's where I'm coming back to pain, but it's not necessarily a bad thing sometimes to go through pain, because sometimes you need to, as like this quote say, but you need to go through pain, you need to go through hard things to realize your true potential. And mental strength, therefore, it's not built by avoiding discomfort all the time, but by maintaining intentional friction, small chosen challenges that will keep engaged with your capacity of growing and being more strong. And and at some point, when you're gonna do the little thing every day, and at some point you don't need more motivation. If you really feel drained from things, you just need to realize, okay, now I'm an adult, and you need to stop. You need to really take a deep breath, and you need to realize that you have the choice of your life, and that you have the choice of switching into something else. You need a decision. You need to remind yourself that you have the power. I really want you to realize, if you're watching this video, you really realize that you have the power, and that every single person on this earth have some qualities, and they also have weaknesses, of course, but you really need to focus on your qualities and what makes you your qualities and your strength. What is make you strong every single day? What is gonna bring you forward? And I'm sure all of you have something into you, and it is really important that no matter what's in your life, what happens, know your worth and take your power back. And that's my thought of today, is you cannot build a strong life with a weak inner voice. Think strong mean asking yourself better questions. So I'm gonna take an example, but instead of, for instance, asking you why is this so hard? Why this thing is so hard? Ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? When you start something and you ask yourself, new things or a new exam, and you're gonna ask yourself, what if I fail? And just ask yourself, what is this experience is changing me? What is just shaping me? What is gonna bring me? When you tell also yourself, for instance, I'm not ready for this, I don't feel it, I just ask yourself, what will happen if I start anyway? What will it change? What happened? Will I die from this? Will I, because sometimes this is also the thing, is like you are much more fearing a situation that is actually the situation would hurt you in the future. And rather than that, the situation would just bring you more opportunities and more things. So use also a different language when you talk to your brain, because your brain listens to this language. So really choose your words wisely. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna close this episode here. I'm gonna close it with a quote of the philosopher Marcus Aurelius. So he said, "You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So this is basically the essence of mental resilience, right? It's really, you cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can eventually control the meaning you give it to it. And your meaning basically change everything, because it's gonna change, your perception. And anytime you go through things, or anytime you go through something hard, humiliation, disrespect, a really hard time, use that pain and suffering that you feel and use it as a fuel, or just to wake you up, and throw off the self-limitation belief and just pretend it just don't exist, and remind yourself that staying strong doesn't mean never breaking. It really means how to rebuild yourself quickly, this capacity, resilience. It means not abandoning yourself when things would not feel comfortable, would feel different, would feel hard. It really means staying loyal to your future self, even when your present self feels unsure. Genuinely, that's how you become successful. Just don't give up on yourself. It's very important. If you're in a season where things feels maybe more slow, uncertain, or just unclear, don't focus on the way out. Whether you're building a business or going through a hard time in your job, in your career, you have to remember yourself. Everything you went through already, all the hard work that you did, it's not for nothing. And more importantly, you have to convince yourself that you refuse to stop till you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. That's very important. So remember yourself that you didn't come here just to stop, and you don't need to have the entire plan figured out. You need to show up with intention. You need to be consistent. You need to believe in your potential and be unstoppable. Think strong, really. Think strong, because your thoughts shape your emotion. Your emotion shape your action, and your action shape your life. And stay strong, not because life is easy, but because you are becoming capable of doing things. And remember one thing, learn to love yourself, no matter what. To get up. Life is hard. Get to work, because this is what everyone is doing. They are working. Some people are waking up at 5 in the morning to go to their work. Some people have to feed 4 children and to have 3 different jobs at the same time. So when you say that it's hard for you, realize also how much is hard for you. And you have to really don't put yourself in a victim mindset. Stop victimizing yourself, and that's how you're gonna be successful. Mental strength is, first of all, a practice, and it's not a personality trait. I mean, of course, some people can be grown maybe with more resilience or more of this, but most of the people are actually working on it. And of course, some of things are part of your personalities, but you also train your mind. So you build it every single day. So I will finish on this. So this is Emma. This is Kay and Zox. Think strong, be strong, stay strong. And I really want to everyone that listen to this video to really be successful no matter what. So go to work on the version of yourself that will becoming unstoppable. Love you. Kisses, Emma.